right, guys, we are 10 minutes prior to the call tonight. I'm waiting on our co-host. Those that are on tonight, go ahead and send out those last minute invites to your team members so that we can have everybody on this phenomenal training we will have tonight. I'm excited. We haven't officially started. I just felt like I should say something.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Deborah from Georgia.
Hi, Deborah. All right, let's see. We're letting some people in here. Anybody else already on the call, go ahead and state your name and where you're calling from. All right, there's my co-host there. Hey, Miss Stephanie Allen.
Hey, girl, I'm over here. I am super excited, fired up. I have been over here sucking on a peppermint because I've been having allergy issues. But it's like, you know what? The devil cannot silence me. I am super excited. I mean, we are like a locomotive with no brakes, and we are moving. So anybody that does not get on this train is going to be left behind. I am super excited. If anyone has joined us, please go ahead and state your name and let us know where you are calling in from. And please, we are in class. Please show your face. Turn your cameras on, because anyone that does not turn on their cameras is going to be counted absent tonight. So please turn on your cameras and let's get this party started.
Absolutely. Listen, Stephanie, wow, or shall I say Miss Allen, while we're waiting for those that are not yet logged in, you know, I spoke to you just a few minutes ago and you reminded me of somebody who's always ready. How about you just tell the team how you are always prepared? Every time I hear you speak, it's always an example of you in preparation. What happened today?
Actually, I'm always ready because I grew up with my dad is my pastor, and he would always put us on the spot to get up and do a welcome. And we would not know until we're sitting there reading over the program, and we see our name, and we just get, I'm like, oh my God, I have to do the welcome. And so you just get automatically nervous, anxiety. And so anyway, so my dad has taught us growing up, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So I'm always ready. When Mr. Wilkins texted me earlier, it's like I'm always so excited. I didn't even say hello back. I just said, yes, sir. You know, always ready to serve on his platform, because you never know when it's going to be your last time. And so I always just always embrace and try to serve wherever I am needed, because I'm just always excited. I haven't even had any energy today, okay? But it's like, man, I had to be over the edge with excitement. But I want anyone that has joined us to please go ahead and state your name, because we are going to have someone. Look, I know he's not God, but hey, he's right up there with him. It's kind of like oxygen and water. This gentleman here has been just a godsend to my family. I have always looked up to him, and being on the platform and seeing him from afar, just always knowing if I could just get connected to him, kind of like when the lady with the issue of blood, if I could just touch the hem of his garment. And so anyway, I am just so excited to be connected to the right connection. If anyone has joined us, please go ahead and state your name and where you're calling in from, because hey, I am super excited, and we are getting ready to go to a whole nother level, like Mr. Pentecost always says. Has anyone joined us?
I'm Sally from Denver.
Hey, Sally from Denver. Thank you for joining us this evening, Sally. If anyone else has joined us, please go ahead and state your name and where you're calling from, and please give a quick
I'm from Raleigh, Carolina. Juanetta.
Hey, Juanetta. Hey, Juanetta, we heard you, girl. Thank you for coming in tonight. Listen, Miss Allen, I totally agree with you on, you know, just being ready and then looking up to the leader of this team. Earlier today, I was like, that's my sensei. I called him my sensei. I tripped myself out. But listen, we will be introducing you to the phenomenal leader of tonight's training. But, you know, we got you. We still have about 6 minutes before we get started. And we just having a little mini conversation here, you know, about the excitement. I spoke to Miss Allen earlier, and I could hear the excitement in her voice. I can feel the excitement throughout our team. I'm excited tonight about tonight's training. I know the heat will be brought. if y'all can't take the heat, you might want to step on out the kitchen. And speaking of heat, come on, bring your cameras on. We need to see your face, because how many times do we have to hear our leadership speak on showing up? Part of showing up is getting on video and being there if you can, showing your face for your team. Somebody's watching you. They may not even be on your team yet, but get into the practice, get into the mode, do what your leaders do, because people are only going to do a percentage, a very small percentage of what you do. So when you don't get on and show your face and participate, guess what? Your team will barely get on and show their face and participate. So let's go at 100% so we can lead by example and take in all of what we're going to be given tonight and really show the appreciation for our leadership by being strong leaders following in the same footstep. Anybody that's just jumping onto the call tonight, go ahead, state your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, everyone. I just joined tonight under Juanetta. My name is Tracy Jeffries. How is everyone?
Hi, Tracy. Thank you for hopping in tonight. We are so happy to see you here. You are not going to be disappointed. I promise you that. We have an amazing trainer coming on tonight. And listen, I still see some video still shots and great spots on my screen, but that's okay. You guys, after you leave here tonight, you're going to understand why it's important to show up. Okay. If you've just gotten onto tonight's call and you have not introduced yourself, let's go ahead and do that now. And keep in mind, we got about 4 more minutes. Send out those last minute text messages to your teams to get them on tonight's call.
Hi, this is Maria and Grayson, and we're from New Jersey.
Hi, New Jersey.
Hello.
Great to have you on the call tonight.
Excited to be here.
Miss Allen, I wanted to just go ahead and get back with you again and, talking about, we all know we're in COVID, we all know we're dealing with some things. And I just mentioned to my husband, Mr. Ferguson, that, I was going to get back out there and start passing out flyers. I was going to go to the gas stations, the wash and dryer places, the washaterias. It's been a minute. Yeah, I haven't had to use a washateria in a few years. But, I just thought that maybe, nothing's wrong with the internet, but just maybe if we can get back to the roots of what we used to do and get out there. There are people who still like to read stuff and still like to get their attention grabbed with a nice flyer. Today you passed out samples. How did that feel?
Absolutely amazing, because all you have to do is just mask up, guys. Just look, hey, give me 6 feet. But I mean, we had I was able to prospect 12 young ladies that were excited because they were getting weekly B12 shots. And we have something as simple as a pixie stick that they can actually take and not have to go get a shot at the doctor. And so they were all super excited. And it was a cold call. My husband has been a member of this credit union for, for a decade, and I was a total stranger, and nobody's a stranger to me. So anyway, I'm going to be friendly with whoever it is. And it was great just being out there because I miss my vendor events. Vendor events is where you actually get a lot of activity at. And so I don't ever go to sell anything. I go to network. And so I just really love that ability. I'm used to that. I'm a face-to-face type of person. I can actually do the phone or I can do it either way, but I just love to see you because it's so much easier for somebody to say no over the phone. But when you're face to face with them, it makes it much harder for them to do that. And so anyway, you just have to get out there. You have to get in the trenches and really just make some things happen. But vendor events is where it happens at. And so that's how I was taught by our fields leader. And so that's what I'm used to. I just like to get out there and just make some things happen. If anyone has joined us, please go ahead and state your name and where you're calling in from. Because
Hey, straight out of Ferguson, Grand Prairie, Texas.
hey,
Jacqueline Brown, Houston, Texas.
Hey, partner, Tracy Fisher's online from Houston.
Hey, Mr. Fisher, thank you so much for taking time to join us. Guys, if you're just coming on, please go ahead and turn your cameras on, because just like at school, if you are not present, you will be counted absent. Go ahead and turn your cameras on so we can see your face, because what that tells me, if you don't have your cameras on, unless you just absolutely can't turn it on, it means that you're not paying attention, that you're doing something else. And so you're not sitting down with a pen and a pad ready to take notes. because you cannot remember everything that's going to be said tonight. You got to be writing it down, because if you don't write it down, if you don't see the vision, if you're not writing the vision down, it's not going to happen. To think is to put it in ink. So you have got to take some copious notes if you want it to happen. So guys, we need you to turn your cameras on, because we are getting ready to bring some heat that you will not be able to look. And like Miss Ferguson said, I had just said that to someone before we got on this call. If you can't run with the big dogs, get off of the porch. And when she said, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So it's all the same statement. So, hey, we are ready to make some things happen. If y'all want to get on board with us, hey, let's go. Because we are not playing around. We are going to a whole nother level, just like Mr. Pentecost always says. Back to you, Ms. Ferguson.
All right. Well, listen, it is 8 o'clock, top of the hour. Mrs. Allen has already told everybody, in my eyes, all the millionaires are on camera. All right. We're getting ready to introduce a powerful, powerful person to you tonight, who not only, he just wants the best for our team. He and his wife, they just want the best for our team. So the least we can do is come on camera, take those copious notes that Mrs. Allen spoke about, and just really take heed and soak in all this and then put it into action, because it does us no good to just listen tonight. Let's listen and let's get ready to put it into action. But listen here, who I'm introducing to you tonight, many of you know the introduction, but there are some people on here tonight that are brand new and have never heard. They have never heard this introduction. So this is important that you guys sit back and take those notes and get ready to understand why you want to listen to this training for tonight. He's been in this industry, this profession, the home-based business profession, for over 17 years. He's been featured in the Success from Home magazine, Networker magazine, an author, transformational teacher. He's been voted top 50 Black professional and entrepreneurs in the state of Texas, and Texas is big. Okay, he has built a combined organization of more than 45,000 people that spans across 23 countries, such as Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, South Africa, Nigeria, and the United Kingdom, and he ain't done. His organization has generated tens of millions of dollars in revenue. He's also amongst the top 13. He was also amongst the top 13 income earners in a previous company that I got a chance to witness. And he had about 1.5 million distributors in 54 countries and generated over $1 billion with a B, $1 billion in sales. Mr. Wilkins became a millionaire by the age of 30. Okay, if nothing I said caught your attention, you might want to start listening now. Mr. Wilkins is currently a presidential diamond with our company that we represent today. It works the fastest in that position in the history of the company at the time he hit his spot. So fast, our organization holds the number 73 spot in the top 100 earners, which means his organization generates at minimum $100,000 in revenue a week and has produced several others on his team that are high six-figure earners. But his most significant appreciation and accomplishment is being the husband to the Mrs. Portia Wilkins and a father to Princess Chandler Wilkins and Prince Aiden Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins, I'm so excited. Are you on the call tonight?
Listen, I am so pumped. I am so fired up. I'm so excited about the International Women's Day. Come on, jump in the chat. It's Ladies' Night. It's Ladies' Day. You know what I'm talking about. And so I'm excited. First of all, Pam Ferguson, thank you so much. Thank you to Mrs. Stephanie Allen. Just two phenomenal women, right? That are part of this It Works family, that are part of this organization. I could not be any more excited and elated to be in partnership with the both of you. You make no excuses. You fight to get there and you fight to stay there. And that is what this whole business is all about, because life, in the words of Steve Duncanson, is a fight for territory. The moment you stop fighting for what you want, then what it is that you don't want automatically takes over. And so I'm excited to be around some fighters tonight. And so thank you so much for the introduction, ladies. You have ushered in such a wave of excitement. I see so many people in the waiting room. I see so many of you already online, and it is not to hear from me. I know that. And I'm excited about that. Tonight, we get a chance to hear from a phenomenal woman, an incredible mother, soon to be WIFE wife. I've been seeing, I've been going through all your pictures. Yes, all of them. You got to teach us some things tonight because I'm trying to step my game up, right? But anyway, I'm excited for many of us to hear for the first time her story. So I want you to take out notepad and take out your pen. I know you've got your iPhones, and those of you that have not repented and gotten rid of your Androids, you can use those. You can use those as well. But I kid. But anyway, hopefully you got something to write on and something to write with. You're going to hear from this Millionaire Club member. You're going to hear her story tonight. And the reason why I want her to share a little bit about her story is because what her story will do for you, and I want you to write this down, is going to disrupt, distract, and inspire. That's the purpose of hearing stories. It is to disrupt the mental myopias that you have in your mind of unworthiness. It's not working. The sheer unbelief that you have, the doubt that may creep into your mind in the business. When you hear somebody else's story, it reinvigorates you. I know it reinvigorates me, like, oh, they were messed up. I'm all right. If she could do this with her messed up background and in their pedigree, and they can do, oh, I'm good. Anyway, so it will dispute all of the mental myopia. It will distract you from some of the idiosyncrasies that you may be hung up on right now. And then it will inspire you to move past whatever walls that you've built, whatever self-imposed walls in your mind that's blocking your belief, that's blocking your activity and blocking your results. That's the purpose of a story. And then tonight, we're also going to hear strategy, because to me, success is 90% story, the story that you're telling yourself. How many of you know you talk to yourself? Put one in the chat. If you know you talk to yourself. If you put one in the chat. If you know, if you don't believe you talk to yourself, put two in the chat. Let me see who's crazy. Okay. Everybody got one. Okay, so to me, success is all about the story. 90% psychology, what I'm saying to myself. And the other 10% is strategy. And so we're going to hear strategy. I want to hear from Alissa, and I've got some questions for her, and we're going to dive into this. So it's 8:07. I want to absorb every single morsel that we can. I want to bring the best of the best in It Works to you tonight. Alissa, I am unmuting you. You are completely unmuted. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the Monday Mastermind session. Y'all jump in the comments, put your hands together. Millionaire Club member, top income earner, not only in It Works, but in the network marketing profession. Y'all give it up. Alissa, good evening. How are you?
Wonderful. How's it going? I need you to open up every single one of my Zooms.
Oh, absolutely. I'll send you my Cash App and we'll do it.
We're done. It's so good to be here tonight. I'm honored. I'm honored to share this space with you. And I'm grateful for this time. I do not take, you guys being on here lightly. It's your time, and time is valuable. And so it's truly an honor to be on here tonight.
Well, we're honored to have you, and we want to dive right into it. We know you've got such a busy schedule, a large team that you lead, and you're obviously other things personally that you have to attend to. So we're not going to belabor the process. First thing we want to jump into is give us your story. Listen, many of us, we have not been fortunate enough to hear how you found It Works, or how It Works found you. Take us back. How long have you been with the company? How did you find the company, and why did you say yes to It Works?
Oh my goodness. So I have been with It Works. It will be 7 years in April. And I found this business on social media. My enroller, actually, I met her at a baby shower, and we just sat at the same table and added each other online, and she got started in the business. And I watched her for a little while, and I was so interested in what the heck she was doing. And at that time, I was a young mom living on food stamps, government assistance. I had $5 in the bank. Actually, the day that I got started in the business, I had to sell something on a local garage sale site. And that is how I launched my business at 22 years old. And this is my first company I've ever been a part of. I have absolutely no sales experience. I quit every sales job I ever had, which was one at a tanning salon, and sales wasn't just not my thing. And I just was at a point in my life where I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I knew no one was coming for me. No one was coming to save me. And so I was like, okay. And I sent her all my questions, sold something, got started in my business. And I just never looked back. So, jumping into a business like this, first of all, it's the greatest industry in the whole world. I love it so much. But I just was at a point where, like I said, I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. So diving right into my business, do you want me to go ahead and share a little bit of that?
Yeah, we could talk because I want to drill down on this because, baby shower. So a baby was coming into the world. I want to talk about that. So you met your sponsor at a baby. Is your sponsor an ambassador?
Yeah, her name is Tiffany.
Tiffany. Okay. How long has Tiffany been with the company,
I think that she joined a couple of months before me. So she's coming up on 7.
So she joined a couple months before you. You meet at a baby shower.
Blind leading the blind.
I love it. So did she have any network marketing experience, or had she built before, or no?
Zero, none. She was
I love it.
Jobs, waitressing. She was doing some mortgage loans, something. And she saw this again on social media. And so right after we kind of got started, the girl who signed her up wasn't really involved. So we just figured it out the whole way.
No. Hold on. Let's not skate past that quickly, because I don't want people to miss that boulder. So let's dig down into that for just a second, and we're going to get into strategy. But to me, stories are so impactful. I want you guys to get that. So the young lady that brought in Tiffany was not even really actively involved, but she was involved enough to lead Tiffany into the business, right? Is that young lady, is she still in the business or no?
Not.
So, okay, all right. So she's not. So she's got at least two ambassadors that we're aware of, you and Tiffany, in her business. At least 2 of them.
There's, I think, 9 or 10 now. Maybe more.
So this young lady, guys, catch that revelation. Some of you're like, oh my God, this person left, or my sponsor quit. Or some of you are like, man, I want my sponsor to do this for me. When is this person going to do this with me? What Alissa just helped us understand is that her sponsor that introduced her to It Works was brand new. And her sponsor that brought Tiffany in is gone. So they essentially had to figure it out. Isn't that the power of a woman? Now, if y'all were 2 men, I don't know if you would have 10 ambassadors, but because you're 2 women, I know women figure stuff out. So let's pick up from there. So now let's go to strategy. You saw a post, I guess, online. Was it Facebook? I know it wasn't TikTok. Because TikTok wasn't available.
It was Facebook.
It was Facebook. Do you remember what you saw?
Well, I watched her for a while. She first started posting belly photos, and then she started posting about the business. And at that time, we were making, she was making, and then eventually me, wrap cash by selling the skinny wraps. And she was sharing, there was no IDS police then, but she was posting her cash online. And I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world is she doing? And then she was going towards a diamond bonus. And I was like, it was so intriguing to me. Okay. And so she was working towards that bonus, and it was true. She just was casting every single day, casting this vision. And I was like, I want whatever she's doing or whatever she's working towards. I want to get my hands on that.
Wow. So you saw, I want you guys to take away this point. This is what I'm taking away. You watched her, and she was consistently posting and promoting. Okay. All right. I got it. All right. So now fast forward, you get started, day one, run right to diamond in your first 30 days?
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right. You did not.
Tiffany did.
Oh, Tiffany did, but not you. Okay, take me through your progression. How long, if you can recall? I know 7 years. I mean,
Oh
7
my.
years.
So month 1, I went Ruby.
Okay.
2, I went Emerald. Month 4, I went from Emerald to Double Diamond.
Okay.
Month 7, I went Triple Diamond. Month 11, I went Presidential. And then month 22, I went Ambassador.
All right. So
month 24, I was a Millionaires Club member.
All right. Okay. Now I'm excited. Now I'm excited because what some people heard and what I heard was 2 different things. So we go, boom, Ruby, 30 days, woo, Ruby. And some of us that have been in the company, some of us, we've been in the company longer than 30 days and we haven't gone Ruby. So we're like, oh my God, I'm such a failure. That's self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said 90% is psychology. So your first 30 days, you go Ruby. Second month, Emerald. Third month, you don't go diamond.
No.
You didn't quit.
I almost quit at Emerald.
Oh,
and let me tell you why. I felt like I was working so hard that I started to become busy in my mind. So I thought I was doing all of these income producing activities, but I wasn't. It was all right here. And so it was stealing the fun out of this. It was stealing the joy out of this. I mean, this is so much fun, but if we overthink it and we get in our minds, I was ready to quit. And it was my first event and I was an Emerald going there. And as soon as I got there, I called my sister and I was like, I want to come home. Like, I do not want to be here. Like, this just isn't fun anymore. And she was like, just stay and just see what happens. And so I stayed. Okay. And that event changed the game for me. It just, like, being there, hearing stories, again, stories are so huge, that it was hearing the stories. And I remember my friend Ronnie, she hit the Millionaires Club that weekend. And I was like, what the heck? And I never knew she would, like, become my friend, right? But I was like, okay, all of these people are coming from all walks of life. They're all broke and they've all been, like, broken and all of the things. So 4 days after that event, I went from Enrolled to Double.
You were the same, you had the same influence, you had the same skill set. It was the same company, same product, same comp plan. The only thing that I hear that changed is your psychology. The story you started telling yourself because you went to an event and heard other stories and it disrupted, distracted, and inspired you.
Yep.
All right, the call is over. No, just playing. Okay. All right. So now you see other people. I know Ronnie. You see other people, and you hear their stories. You get inspired. You go from this stuff. I'm doing all this work. I'm working so hard. You figure out, okay, I'm really not working so hard because I'm not really doing income producing activities. So that leads me to strategy number 1, because I want to pick up from there, because I want you to take me from Ruby, Emerald, mindset in terms of, at a glance, what was your daily routine, income producing activities back then and even now? I know it's different now, same things, but with more people and at a higher level, different things. And people sometimes don't understand that. They're like, okay, what? I want to shadow you today. I'm like, you don't want to shadow me today. You want to shadow me 2.5 years ago when I was just saying yes and I was doing 4 or 5 meetings a day. See, I'm not doing 4 or 5 meetings a day right now, but 2.5 years ago when I got started, I was doing 4 or 5 group meetings a day. I mean, it was crazy. So take me back. What's your daily routine like back then, getting this thing off the ground?
So I actually built in person. I'm known for social media, but I built in person all the way to Triple. And what that looks like for me was I was in and out of coffee shops. And eventually I was like, okay, I'm just having one meeting after another. So what I started to do, and here's the thing, you guys, I had no idea what I was doing. I want to make sure that I say that, because like Tiffany and I would call each other and we would be like, we're not very good at this, but we just have to keep like trying. And And so I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was our steps to success, and I had a catalog, and that is all that I would take with me to these meetings. So eventually I realized like I'm doing the same meeting over and over again. So I would invite instead of, time blocking it out, I would just invite everyone at once. And so I would sit down at a coffee shop with everybody at once, and no one knew each other, but I was like, I don't want to do this 7 times because I like have hives all over my body every time. Let's just do it once and get it over with. And so we would just all sit there, and I would just cast vision and show them the steps of success and show them some of the products. And so that's what I did most of the time, as well as I would just reach out to people and ask them to meet me in person. So I just did that all the way up until triple. And outside of that, every day, you guys, I was working so many hours. Like, it's so easy to like hear the success story, but I was working like 16, sometimes more hours, but I wanted to. I wasn't afraid of that. I wanted to succeed. And so I was on phone calls. I would be like chatting with girls on my team, asking them what they're doing, going through like, we didn't have like a 6 list or anything like that. Well, we didn't know to call it that, right? But it was like, okay, who are we connecting with to fill out the steps to success? That was our only focus. That was our only goal. I had all of my charts, my ruby chart, emerald chart, diamond chart. I had them big and printed off on the walls of my teeny tiny little apartment. And I was like, this is all I need to be focusing on is my steps to success. And here's the chart. Okay. And every single day I would look at the chart and I'd be like, okay, we have to help 3 more people in order to get this chart filled. Right. So I would call everybody, or we would do like the 1-800 free conference call. And I'd be like, okay, like, let's strategize. What's everyone's game plan? Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew to follow the steps to success and to follow the chart. But it was just connecting with people, and I would meet as many people as I could. And then I read a book. It was called Go for No. And that was just something that we started doing. We were like, okay, we have no idea what we're doing, but we have to go get as many no's as we can, because that leads us to what? The yeses, right? And so that was what we did. But every day I would look at those charts. Every day I would connect with my team and just talk to as many people as I can, wrap as many people as I could. And just getting started, my first wrap party, it was at a sorority, and they thought I was bringing like food wraps. Like, they didn't realize it was like skinny wraps. They thought I was like bringing food. And so it was like this whole mess. But eventually that was like in my routine, was going to the sorority and wrapping all of the girls. And I would walk out of there with like $300 to $400 in wrap cash just by wrapping them. And so that's a little bit of how that went.
So, okay. So what I'm hearing is your routine was reaching out to prospects or potentials. Now you sounded very antiquated. Like, I know we don't do this anymore. Like, you called people. Is that what I'm understanding? Like,
I would call everybody. I would call everyone.
You would get on the phone. You like a cell phone, a rotary phone. What type of phone was it?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm being a little facetious, because I know now in this postmodern era of network marketing or social sharing, what we now do is it's all about social media, and we're going to get into that because you're great with that as well. But in the beginning, launching this thing out, now let me ask you this: were you calling people you knew, or were these people you were meeting on social? Who were these potentials? Because here's one of the things that we're dealing with many of the leaders. It's like, okay, I'm looking to go to my next level, and I haven't found my ruby, I haven't found my emerald, I haven't found my diamond, and I'm looking for that person. Where do you find, or where did you find your rubies, your emeralds, your diamonds? Talk to us about some of that.
So I feel like part of what we do is and this grows over time, but just knowing someone's potential. So just kind of identifying that. Like, I wrote down on I filled out my whole hundreds list, and I would go through all of the contacts on my social media and in my phone. And if I thought that they would be good at this business, I would reach out. I would message them. I would ask them to jump on a call. if I thought that they would have potential. And listen, some people stuck and some people didn't. But the ones who did, I was like, I just cast the vision and I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. Do you want to come? And it's as simple as that. But I feel like it's just knowing, okay, they have some good connections, or they're a mom. And so they're just at home, right? It's like understanding people and reaching out and using those strengths that you know that they have when you're kind of, you know, talking about the business and talking about the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So you're reaching out to these people. You've got obviously diamonds on your team. You've got doubles, triples, presidentials, ambassadors, right? Talk to me about this. Like when it comes to working with them, when you get a new person started now in Works, right? New distributor started now. What is your steps to get that person moving? Like, what do you, let's say you sponsor Jerry, right? What's our next step?
So I follow a 10-80-10 rule. And that means like the first 10% of my time with you is just training. And all is well that begins well. So I really make sure that I focus on setting high expectations from the very beginning. This is something I've done from the start, is I set high expectations. And depending on, I have what's called a success plan that I have people fill out when I bring them in. And that just goes over a monthly income goal for 60, 90, up to a year. I think it's up to a year. And they list those goals, okay? And then we talk about time. How much time are they going to have to be spending on their business each day? They fill that out. What's the one obstacle that they feel like could get in the way? They list that. Are they willing to be, and I can send you this as well, but are you willing to enroll for the next event? Yes or no? And it's just questions like that so that I know who I'm dealing with. I know what their obstacle might be. I know how much time they can be spending in the business. I know their income goals. And so based on that, that helps me know where I'm going to meet them. And so that first 10%, if they're wanting to go diamonds in 30 days, that 10% is going to look different from someone who maybe just wants a couple of extra $100, which is fine. I'm going to train them differently in that first 10%. And that 80%, once I train you, I'm like, okay, go do your thing. Go fail a little bit, come back with any questions you have, screenshots, whatever. We schedule another call. Okay. And that's when I just get out of their way and I kind of let them dabble a little bit, get uncomfortable, fail a little bit. And then that next 10% is when I'm like, okay, where do we need to adjust? What are things looking like? How's it going? So that 10-80-10 rule is what helps me knowing how to guide people. But I think that it's important too, just when you're leading a team, that you know that it's not my job to motivate. I don't motivate people, but I coach people. Because when I'm motivating you, that's just when I want you to feel good, right? But if I'm coaching you, that's when I want you to be good, right? And as coaches, I work with people who show up.
Now that's good. Say that again. Let's go. Hold on, man. Hold on. You dropping some weight. If I motivate you, I'm making you feel good. If I coach you, I'm making you be good. Come on, get in the chat. Type 777. That should complete your that should complete that sentence. That is, oh, that's powerful. All right. I'm sorry. I just had to say that loudly for myself because people want you. Oh, you're not calling me. You're not following up with me. Where? And I'm like, listen, I got a 7-month-old. I don't have time. I'm trying to motivate him. Trying to motivate him to stop running all over the house. I mean, he's pulling up. I'm like, bro, can you learn to crawl before you trying to? It's just, I'm tired. So all right, so let's talk about this. Now, obviously, we've got the pandemic going on, right? Well, obviously not in Texas. In Texas, our governor says we ain't got no pandemic. We don't have to wear no masks starting on the 10th. And so it's just a whole different country in Texas. But anyway, now obviously, people are wearing masks. We're doing social distance. So we're not doing the coffee shops as much. We're not doing the in-home presentation, the wrap parties. like we're doing now. So talk to me about your strategies, your personal strategies of enrolling new customers. What have you guys, your team, do you guys do weekly presentations online, opportunity presentation? Like, what do you guys do to enroll new customers and enroll new distributors?
Yeah, so the biggest thing right now that we're doing is 2 to 3 days a week. And this is spread throughout my entire organization. So there's tons of hands in this, our opportunity Zooms. And with those, they're 15 minutes, 30 at the max. Just getting to the point of the products in the business, and then obviously the call to action afterwards. But that's the biggest thing. And I think that the shorter you keep it, obviously people are going to be a little bit more engaged. So we've kind of, and I can send you the outline to those, but we've kind of mastered the 15-minute and the 30-minute.
Do you have any of those recorded at all that we can?
Sure.
Yeah, because I know there's some people, they want to see that. Now you guys do it, you do your Zooms on how many days a week?
2 to 3.
2 to 3. So like maybe on a Monday, Tuesday, a Thursday.
Days. Yeah.
Oh, you do yours on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Everyone's doing it differently. So there's like so many people leading them.
Okay, so when are you? There are different ones in your whole organization. Okay, yeah. So you've got leaders running their own opportunity Zooms. Like this leader has their own opportunity Zooms with their team. This one has their own with their team. But you've got different presidentials and ambassadors and people that have stepped up into that leadership.
I see it as an opportunity to kind of help those rising leaders get a little bit uncomfortable. So even just like jumping on and me interviewing, maybe having someone who just went Ruby or Emerald sharing their stories. And I think that it's an opportunity for rising leaders to kind of develop a voice, especially because they're so laid back and they're so short and simple. It helps them kind of start developing that voice, right? Getting a little uncomfortable. I mean, I know how if I was a Ruby and someone was like, jump on this 15-minute Zoom, I would totally freak out.
Right.
But it's 15 minutes, right? And we learn from that. So I would just look at it as well as an opportunity for your rising leaders to kind of just pulling them up and helping them get uncomfortable.
Okay. So tell me this, I mean, that's powerful because we want to make sure that whatever is working and duplicating, it's a part of our system. So everything you just talked about, you know, when you talk about getting a new person started, we call it a game planning session or a game planning interview. Whereas, you know, Alissa comes to the business now, I set up, you know, a 15, 20-minute time where we're talking and connecting. I'm finding out, hey, why are you getting started? Just kind of some of the questionnaires that you talked about. We are walking people through that and taking notes on it to make sure that we can now help that person engage. And then we start setting up launch strategies and things like that. Now, talk about your strategy for enrolling loyal customers. What are you doing now, or what's the team doing?
So host to post for sure. I feel like most of my customers come from me showing my face in my stories. And video content is like the #1 way right now to be building on social. So I just am always showing my face. And that's like making my coffee, just talking about the products, sharing before and afters. All of those things matter so much. And I know that you had asked me kind of behind the scenes, just some of my personal leaders that I've brought in. And I was like listing out their names, all of my ambassadors, and every single one of them came from doing something different on the 6 list. Isn't that so interesting?
Wow, talk about that a little bit, because people don't, some of the team, we don't even know what the 6 list is. Like, walk us through this.
Yeah, so one of the ways that you can be building, which is from cold messaging, okay? And some people are for it, some are against it, whatever, it's up to you. But Brittany Landrum's one of my ambassadors, and
That's the one that's always dancing with her son, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love her, man. She's off the chain. That little dude got some rhythm.
He's so amazing. I love Ty too. But I sent her a cold message.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, where'd you send her a cold message to? On Instagram?
Facebook. And all I said is, hey girl, you should join my It Works team.
I'm done. Y'all write in the comments, I'm done. See, y'all making this all complex. Y'all like, oh my God, give me the 32 ways to recruit somebody. What did you say to Brittany?
hey girl, you should join my It Works team.
Hey girl, you should join my It Works. See, guys, that ain't gonna work with you. Don't send no message to no dude to my, hey bro, you need to join my It Works. Women, yes. Now it's like, so you told, now how did you find her on Facebook?
Told me no. Okay, this is important. She told me no. And she would tell you this if she was on here. But I was like, okay, like I was just so like doing my thing. And I just got to the point where I was just so proud of what I do. Like, I'm just so proud of this. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you tell me no. I was just like, all right, take care. And so, but I planted that seed in her head. And so she kept watching me and I earned a bonus for going double diamond. Mm-hmm. And that's when she was like, okay, like I gotta message her back. So she messaged me back and she signed up and now she's just incredible. And she's an ambassador diamond top income earner. And that's from a cold message.
I'm done.
It's too funny.
Now, how many of y'all can cold message some people? See, again, I love what you said in the beginning. We get into our head. And this thing it is so simple. It's exposure is everything. The fortune is in the follow-up. See, sometimes you got to go make a fortune and your fortune will follow up. So Brittany's watching your page, right? After you've exposed her, you collect a double diamond bonus, and I'm sure it's posted and all that type of stuff. And she's like, wait a minute. Hey, listen, what is this? And now she's ready to join. And how long has she been in the company now?
She's been in maybe 5.5 years.
5.5 years later, she's an ambassador diamond. Not 5.5 months later.
5.5 years.
Not 5.5 weeks later. Yeah. All of my A-type personalities on the team. Oh, this thing's not growing fast enough. You've been in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So co-messaging is one of the strategies. What's another?
Yeah, and then actually, so she has a personal ambassador, which is cool. Who she just
hold on. So hold on. Oh, no. So you enrolled Brittany. Brittany's enrolled somebody that went ambassador.
Yes.
Okay. How does she find that person?
I think social media.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And then, so I have Erin Tweed, and I actually her husband was one of my best friends in high school. So me and Kyle used to get in some trouble together. And that is how I know Erin, but she messaged me because she wanted hair, skin, and nails. And I had made a post about hair, skin, and nails. And at anytime anyone messages me for products, still to this day, I just talk about the business, and that's what I did. That's what I did with her. And she told me no, she was not interested, but I was like, okay. And we actually signed her up as a loyal customer. And then eventually she got started in the business. I think it was a couple of months later after getting some results, but now she's one of my ambassadors, and she's, I think, number 15.
Now, Erin is in Houston.
Yeah.
Trace, remember we went to Erin's event and y'all came back like, oh my God, that's so different, right? Now I'm talking to Tracy, he and his wife, they're triples in Houston here as well. But I didn't know you sponsored Erin.
Yeah.
Now, where are you based?
Indiana.
So you're all the way in Indiana, and you got an ambassador in Texas. Where's Brittany?
She's like 10 minutes away from me.
Okay, so you and Brittany girlfriending over there, and y'all got Erin down in Texas. Y'all in India. Okay, cool.
Brittany's ambassadors here too. But then Erin enrolled Kelsey Thornton, who's also an ambassador.
Shut the front door. All right. So all my friends are in your group. All right. So Kelsey, they just moved to Dallas.
Yeah.
So everybody's coming to the country of Texas. You know, we don't wear no mask in Texas. It's just it's crazy. But so who enrolled Kelsey? Erin?
Erin, yeah.
How did Erin meet Kelsey?
Kyle and Kelsey were friends from IU.
So they were friends from where?
College.
From college. All right. So I hope you guys are, because everybody, listen, everybody's like, okay, where do I find out? You find the good people by being a good person.
Yeah.
This thing is never logical. It's a belief system. You're in a coffee shop. Was it a Starbucks?
It was
Coffee shop? So you're in Starbucks doing these one-on-one meetings and all this type of stuff and exposing. And this was 7 years ago. So you're in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Early 20s, just going after this thing, right? Showing the plan, giving presentations like, dude, Tiffany, I don't know what we're doing. I hope we're doing the right thing. You go to an event, you hear some information, you see some stories, and you come back and you get after it. You start recruiting, and this thing starts popping from warm market. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, warm market is still recruitable. Some of you not, oh, I don't want to talk. These are people in her common in her warm market. Yeah. So some of us, we're diving right into social, and I'm looking at y'all like, what about your neighbor? What about the folk you went to college with? What about the high school? But these are people that we got exposed. Now tell me this, because I would hate for people to think, Alissa, you just got started, ran right to the top. There was no issues. There were no challenges. What has been, like, as you're going through this progression, I know there are challenges all the time, but tell me about that time or those times where even as a top producer, top earner, you come to the events, you hold the mic, all of that, where you're like, man, I'm burnt out. I'm burning up. I'm about to bounce. Talk to me about those moments. What's been the biggest hurdles or challenges?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things for me is leadership is a little lonely sometimes. And John Maxwell, he's one of my greatest mentors. And, he just talks about how lonely that leadership can feel. And also he talks about how you're not leading if you don't wake up every day, like just wanting to pass some type of leadership off to someone else. He's like, you're just not leading. And I think that developing myself over the last 7 years, my money mindset, my personal mindset, I've really had to do some ugly work. And the more I grow, the more I uncover that's not so pretty about myself. And it's caused me sometimes deeper pain than the growth, but then I overcome that, right? And so I think that one of the hardest things is just learning who I am as I continue to grow in this business. And it's also not attaching if someone decides to leave, if someone decides to, like the people who helped me get ambassador, who were a part of that, most of them aren't here. Probably.
No. What are you saying? Hold on. No, wait, hold on, wait a minute. You've had some people leave?
I had lots of people leave.
No. Okay. I'm saying you've had some loyal customers or some distributors leave. You haven't had any like presidentials or triples or
for sure have.
No. Yeah. You had some presidentials and triples leave?
I sure did. Listen, I'm laughing now. At the time, I was like in my bed hiding, crying. But then I just realized I was taking it so personal. When someone would leave, I would take it personal. And I just had to learn that that's just a part of business, right? That's just a part of this. And instead of taking it personal, I just latched onto the vision that I had, that the life that I wanted to continue creating. And I latched onto that with my team and my leadership. And we just made this pact together. Like, we know where we're going, right? And if people don't want to come along, that's fine. But I stopped taking it personal if they didn't.
Ooh. Y'all get in the comments if that resonated. Type 333 in the chat. I'm gonna give y'all like 10 seconds to decompose this. That right there, just some of you just got a release. I know you did. I know you got a release.
And God never allows you to skip a lesson. So they have taught me my greatest leadership lessons. So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful now. And some I still talk to. Some will drop in my inbox sometimes and just say you made an impact on my life, and I want to thank you for that. And I just always try to leave people better than I found them. Even if they do decide to go, then I just wish them well. And, but I'm telling you right now, God has so many lessons and he never allows us to skip them.
Cannot skip the lessons. Wow. Well, I've got a couple more questions. I know we're wrapping up here. We got about 10, 15 minutes left. I've got a couple of things here. And guys, if you guys got questions, some of the leaders here, some of the Rubies, Emeralds, put them in the chat. I want to kind of dive into some of your specifics that you have for Miss Alissa. Are y'all getting some value? I know you are. You getting some value out of this? Put 777 in the chat. I'm letting you ask some questions right now. This is powerful. All right, so let's talk about. All right, so we've hit boom at a glance. Oh, here's another thing that I love that you do. Like when I look at your page, I see a culture. It's like a women's culture that you've built, that you've developed with your team. What does that look like? Like, from contests, talk to me about contests, recognition, some of the things that you do, because I want the leaders on the Zoom tonight to feel empowered that they can start duplicating that within their own teams. Some of those things that you do to help build the culture of your team here.
Sure. I think that one of the biggest things for my organization is having upfront expectations. And I'm not teaching people so that they can be an end to themselves, right? I'm teaching them so that they can turn around and teach others. And so, when I'm teaching someone something, I'm like, listen, I'm teaching you this week. So who are you teaching this to next week? And I don't try to be the perfect teacher. I just kind of call myself a passionate learner, and passionate learning, I feel like, is what is contagious. And so what we've done in our team is we have just created this culture for always learning, always growing, always getting uncomfortable, for helping, like Rubies, Emeralds. When I was a Ruby having team trainings, you better believe that's the expectation I have of my team. And because I just feel like the more uncomfortable I became in my business, the more I failed and the better I got. And so I'm setting that expectation for my entire organization. But I think too, is just having a space where we can all just be okay with sharing our failures and sharing our strengths and calling each other higher and really just pushing each other to be the best that they can be. And I think that it's so interesting as you start to grow, you really start to look around at the people who just aren't growing with you. And so creating this growth environment in this business helps us not feel so lonely sometimes. It helps us, like, sometimes we can think that we're a little bit crazy, right, for what we're doing. But then we look around and we're like, wow, I have 2 people doing this with me, or I have 5 people doing this with me. I don't take that lightly. I've never taken it lightly, even with one person. I think that it's an opportunity to make an impact. And if I can just create that culture in my organization to where, listen, there is no drama. We lead people higher every single day. We pour into each other. We're always learning. We are lifelong learners, and just kind of setting that example and setting that standard. That's kind of what's created our team culture. But I also take this very seriously. And I think that kind of sets the bar for the standard that I have with my business partners, with my team. I have very high standards, and I don't waver from those standards at all.
Yeah. There was a question that came in, Alissa, about somebody says, real quick, let me go to the first one. Can you share the entire 6 list? You just shared one, which was code messaging. What's the other 5?
So it's messaging, posting on social media, doing your personal development. It's non-negotiable every single day, your personal growth. Mm-hmm. Doing your host to post. I have on mine as a Ruby, I would suggest maybe start hosting some power hours, Like that would be where I would start. If I was a Ruby, when it comes to kind of leading, I would start leading with doing some power hours, right? And the next is just, is that my 6? I'm trying to think. I don't think anything. Posting, following up every day. I don't have one set day where I follow up with people. I follow up with people like every single day. If they're on my heart or if they're in my planner, if I get a notification, I follow up with them. Mm-hmm. So most of my business has been built on following up with people. I would say like 75%, maybe even more, is built by following up. I've got some doubles and triples that I think I followed up with them like 10, 12 times before they signed up. So following up is so huge. And I time my follow-ups. It's kind of different for everybody depending on my conversation with them, but I follow up probably, like if I was messaging with someone today, I would for sure follow up tomorrow, especially if they just like stop messaging. And then from there, I would follow up like a couple of days later and then just spread that out a little bit. But I follow up until I am blue in the face or they tell me to leave them alone. And even then I'm like, okay, I'm still keeping you on my list because I know you'll be watching. But following up is so huge. And I make this, listen, when I'm working, I just turn on some music. I have my skinny tea right here, but I grab like a drink and I just like create this environment that makes me want to work, right? Sometimes it's sitting in my car in school pickup line. Sometimes it's sitting here at my desk. It doesn't matter. I just make sure that I'm like enjoying what I'm doing. And this isn't always fun, but it should be enjoyable. And so following up is one of the biggest keys for sure.
You know, I like the entire list it's so simple. And I was talking with the leaders about this on our Saturday Power Hour. I talked about executives and above, and we're doing a special, guys, I want you to write this down because this leads back into the question of what we were just talking about with Alissa. On the 15th of this month at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, executives and above online event. If you've hit the position, you have to have hit the position of executive or above. We've got a special online event with some special ambassador that will be on that line. This is going to be on the 15th. You have to be an executive. So you have to promote it to the executive rank in the company to get the special Zoom link that we will be on. It won't be on this Zoom link. It'll be a different link, but you have to be an executive because everything that Alissa has just covered, we're going to be diving deeper because a lot of you, what you need at this point is certainty and clarity. Because you're like, am I doing the right thing? Is it working? Is it what's going? You need certainty and clarity. And so we've put that together. And we've got some special contests that are going to be coming out. This also piggybacks on what Alissa just talked about. Some special contests that will be coming out and announced on the 15th on that private executive and above call. So all of the executives on the team that are promoted to it. So you got between now and the 15th, you can do it the 15th at 8 p.m. Central. As long as it's done before 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, you will get that special Zoom link to that event. It is an executive and above exclusive leadership event with some special ambassadors that will be on that Zoom. If you're getting value out of this, I'm telling you, this is to tee you up for what we're about to launch on the 15th. I wanted Alissa on here for Women's Day because she's a bad woman. Y'all, I mean, you hear all these ambassadors all over the place. I'm telling you, this thing is cracking. So, listen, I mean, you have shared some incredible things. A couple of questions came through. Oh wow, y'all just putting in all type of questions. All right, Tracy Fisher, executives equals 2 distributors. Yeah, okay, we've got that. Nia, how do you time your follow-ups? I think you said, Alissa, you follow up every day.
I follow up very often. Yes.
Very often. How many days do you train your newbies before the 80%? That's the next question. How many days do you train your newbies?
Yeah, so that 10%, again, that does look different for everyone, but I would say probably like 5 to 10 days is what I'm training them before kind of sending them out into the wilderness per se. But I think that 5 to 10, I think that's good. I don't really hold people's hands. I just don't, and I never have. And I think that it's so interesting.
Whoa. Wait a minute. All right. Okay. When you say, Alissa, because women, y'all are nurturers. You're nurturers. So when you say you don't hold people's hand, what does that mean? Because I don't want to keep slapping people's hand. I want to understand what that means.
Yeah. So when it comes to just holding people's hands, I don't let you play small, but I also, it's like when you're running on a track and like I'm running full speed, right? And you start off, you're running beside me. Okay. And if you just start slowing down, I'll lap around you and I'll jog in place next to you, check in. How's it going? What's going on? And then I'm like, okay, check in later. And then I just run the lap again. And so I think that it's important to know you'll never cross the finish line if you have people on your back. And like, if picture yourself carrying someone and you're like trying to run full speed, right? You'll never make it to the finish line. You'll be so exhausted. And so I think that I always just love people.
Yeah.
And most of this business is just loving people and leading people, but leading by example. And so as long as I'm leading by example, that's when I'm confident with no hand holding. As long as I know I'm doing what I need to be doing, that's when I feel most confident.
Now, this is a taboo question, and I know there are leaders on both sides of the fence on it and understanding, but when it comes to placing distributors down below each other, right? I don't know, some people call it, I guess, co-sponsoring, sponsor placement, different terminologies, right? What's your philosophy on doing that? Like, how do you approach, placements of distributors under each other to help that person go Ruby or help that person go Emerald or Diamond? Talk to me about your psychology.
Well, I'm not a pro at it. I can for sure tell you that, but I really focus on when I'm signing a lot of people, I focus on, location. I focus on just kind of their story a little bit, especially if I'm building a larger chart. If I'm doing that, I'm focusing on personalities. Where do they live? What's their life like a little bit? And so I would say if I signed like a single mom, I was building a leg with a single mom, I would probably place them together. And because I just try to create this culture of people that I feel like they'll work well together, they'll get along well. And again, I have those high expectations. So if I size someone and I'm putting them under you have 24 hours to match me. And if you can't match me with distributors, you match me with helping them get their customers.
Oh, let me understand that. Okay, so if you sign somebody down below a person, you expect them to match you. What do you mean?
Yeah, I expect them to sign a distributor as well.
Oh, okay. You expect them to do some work.
100%, yes. And I have a crucial conversation before I even start placing that list out my expectations to see if this is even. Some people say no, like they don't want to do that, right? I for sure have had people tell me no, but I set out those expectations of, listen, I'm building a brand new leg. I see potential in you. This is what I'll expect from you if we partner together. And it's just like a long text that I have in my phone. And if they say yes, we kind of jump right in and start working together. Got it.
But there's a conversation that you have to make sure that culture of, okay, I got you. That's perfect. That's definitely in alignment with what I do and the philosophy of what we teach people to do as well. Well, good. Any pressing things you want to share in closing? This has been y'all, put in the comments what you've thought of this training, any value you've gotten. Y'all put that in the comments. We're going to make sure she's able to see that and read that. But listen, I mean, anything you want to share in closing, this has been incredible.
I would just say, as you're building this business, it can feel like maybe not everyone will appreciate that you're growing and evolving, because I know that there are still people in my life who have this particular version of me in their heads. And so I think that it's just important to know that not everyone is going to understand what you're doing. Not everyone is going to join you. Not everyone is going to be on board. And as long as you're at peace here and you just build this vision for your life and what you want, and you do it unapologetically, then you'll be at peace with who does and doesn't come along with you. But I think that it's important to know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And you get to choose. You get to choose, do you want the pain of staying where you are right now? Or do you want the pain of growth? Which pain point do you want? And I think that choosing, I choose growth every single day. Even on the days I don't want to choose growth, I choose growth because I would rather have the pain of growth than the pain of staying exactly where I am. And so every day is a decision that you have to make of what you're building your life around, what you want it to look like. And if you would have told me, I didn't have a crazy vision when I got started in this 7 years ago, I didn't know what it meant to have money in the bank, to have a dream, to want something bigger for my life. No one taught me that. Growing up, I was a preacher's kid and I was just a hot mess, always getting in trouble, always just like, I was always falling short. This success story that you hear is just because I chose every day the pain of growth for the last 7 years, every single day. And I still choose it, but I make decisions in my life now for the person that I want to be 5 years from now, not for how I feel right in this moment, but for who I want to become. And so I think that making that decision every day to choose the pain of growth over the pain of staying where you are, that's pivotal. That's what takes you from step 1 to step 2 in building your business.
Well, Alissa, thank you. I mean, it's been incredible. You really confirmed a lot of things for a lot of people. You inspired all of us tonight. Thank you for your example. Thank you for your story. And thank you for your time tonight, pouring in to all of these leaders. This is phenomenal.
It was such an honor.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for being on. Remember, on the 15th, let me recap, restate, and readdress it. On the 15th of March 15th, that begins the second half of our month. It's going to be monumental. We've got special ambassadors that will be doing an online executive and above event for us privately. It will not be a published call. It will not be a published Zoom. You're going to have to earn your way into it. So you have to, be an executive. So you've got to hit the level of executive. Well, Jared, I hit executive a month ago. I hit executive a year ago. I hit executive 5 years ago. Wonderful. Are you an executive in March? Okay. You need to be an executive in March, meaning you've hit executive or you've requalified executive. Well, Jared, that's just not fair. Well, Alissa told me to, hold my standard. So I was going to say, if you had already hit executive before, you can get on, but I got to follow what the ambassador just told me that has all these other ambassadors. Standard, leaders, standard. Here's the standard. You want access into that training? You want access into that event? Get to executive. Tracy Fisher, what is executive? Let's go to the chat. He put it in here. Tracy, I'm gonna unmute Tracy. Tracy, tell us what executive is.
It's real simple. At least 2 distributors, 400 BV on each side.
2 distributors, 400 BV, that's 800 BV total. Panya Dotson, what is executive?
Very simple. Two distributors, 400 on each side.
Perry Beasley, double diamond. What is executive? Well, Perry and Monica Beasley. What's executive?
Okay. Executive is two distributors, 800 BV total.
400 on each side.
400 on each side. Brandy Jackson. What is so I want this to be clear. This is on the 15th of this month, not March 2022. We're talking about March 2020. Oh, Cherry. Oh my God, I wish I had more time. I wish you would have told me this a month ago, 2 months ago. You mean $800 in volume? Where am I gonna find it? I don't know. Come to Texas. Go to Starbucks. You can take off your mask. All right, Brandy Jackson. What is executive?
Yeah, two people, and both have 400 each. Not one person 400, but 400. Two people, 400 being announced on my birthday, March 15th. I'm taking cash apps in Venmo and PayPal. All right.
Ferguson's, where the Ferguson's at? Ferguson's, which one of the Ferguson's want to, what's executive?
Executive, two distributors, 400 BV each, total of 800 BV. Let's go.
Well, y'all can thank Alissa tonight because I was gonna have the executive event be for people that have actually hit executive before in their career or in It Works, and you could have hit executive in 2019 and you would have been able to come. But Alissa just told me, don't do that. She said that, no, hold the standard. So, I mean, you know, I felt weak. I just felt very weak right now. And I'm like, you know, I gotta be strong. I gotta tap into my feminine, strong energy. We're about to work. So on the 15th, if you are not an executive or above, I mean, it needs to say executive in your back office for you to get the link and the passcode to this. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen on the 15th. Here's what's going to happen. Number one, we've got special ambassador training. So you're going to have some ambassadors on there that are going to be teaching specific things on application and applicable things to do on a daily basis. Many of you want to get some of these things on social media, online strategies, offline strategies. We want to talk about how, and many of these, they're enrolling 20, 30 loyals a day. You're going to be hearing exactly what they're doing. This is not going to be for everybody. To get into this event, you have to qualify. How do you qualify? Not by paying for it, but by serving for it. You got to go serve in the marketplace to create $800 in volume, hit executive, and you get a ticket into it. That's everybody. That's number one. Number two, we're going to be announcing a special contest. How many of y'all like some money? How many of y'all like, some of you didn't raise your hand. You don't, I didn't say love, man. I didn't say, no, I said you like some money. I mean, it's a special money contest that we're doing. We're announcing it on the 15th. There are going to be thousands of dollars up for grabs, multiple people that will be able to grab that money. And we're going to be rolling that out on that, at that event on the 15th of this month. It's going to be a virtual online event. I'm excited about it. Executives and above. Are y'all excited? Okay, two of y'all excited. That's all I need. I told you, executive is two. I just need two. We just need two people excited. But anyway, I know you're excited about it. So be prepared. Obviously, tomorrow we have our opportunity Zoom. Alyssa's going to text me or she's going to send me their link of how they do their Zooms. Obviously, our Zoom's about 15 to 30 minutes as well, but we certainly want to see some of what they're doing as well and maybe incorporate that. But tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on this Zoom link, we'll be doing our opportunity Zoom presentation. Obviously, you want to pack that out. You want to be present and you want to BYOG. Bring your own guest, okay? So that's tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then, of course, Wednesday, we've got our training with Triple Diamond, Brandy Bright, that's going to be doing the training on Wednesday. And then Thursday, of course, you've got CEO Panya Dotson and that team doing an amazing opportunity Zoom, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then, of course, on Saturday, we're back for our Saturday Power Hour. It's going to be exciting. I cannot wait to see you on the online event, the exclusive executive and above leadership training. With that, it's been an incredible event tonight. Thank you so much, Alissa, for having the time to come and serve and pour into all of us. We're excited about it. God bless you. God bless your families. And God most certainly bless your dreams. Good night, everybody.